fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Starrapter and welcome to the channel. As you can tell, I'm just a little bit excited because today I get to talk about a brand new era in Star Wars storytelling, and that starts with Star Wars The High Republic issue number 1. I will also be talking about Star Wars issue number 10 from the mainline series set after the events of The Empire Strikes Back. So jumping into it, we have The High Republic, this brand new era of Star Wars storytelling set 200 years before the events of the Phantom Menace, and these stories all coordinate. We have books, we have comics, we're going to soon have TV series. They all kind of interlock, and it's a multimedia approach that we haven't seen in Star Wars to this degree since, well, in the Legends continuity, and this actually looks like it's even more complex than that. So getting into the story for the High Republic issue number 1. Before we get started, I do have a more in-depth analysis and recap of the events that happened in this issue in its own standalone video, so I'm not going to go super deep in this reference to this issue in this video, but make sure you go ahead and check that video out. So this video, I want to talk what I thought about the story itself, the characters, the locations, and, well, first off, I got to give credit where credit is due. This is written by Kevin Scott with artwork by Ario Anindetto, and we follow the character. This is sort of like a ensemble piece, but at least in this issue, we focus a lot on the character of Keith Travis, and she is a Padawan on the planet of Sheridan with her master Skier. And what I will say is she's doing her Jedi trials, and she ends up getting involved with a whole bunch of other stuff on this planet. And long story short, she ends up, doing something to help these people rather than her own Jedi trial, but in the long run, she ends up being knighted by the end of this issue, thanks to Avar Kriss aboard the Starlight beacon. So talking about Keith Travis, Keith Travis, she is an awesome character that is young, bold, curses a lot, and is often scolded by her master Skier for doing so. I like how they included narration bubbles, which they don't do that often in the comics, at least with Star Wars, so it's cool getting to know what she is thinking. She is not completely sure with herself in certain situations, as we could all imagine if we were in her shoes, doing things that she's doing, which are just defying the laws of gravity and putting herself in danger all the time. It is cool seeing her dealing with her Jedi patience with these creatures called the Simpi, who have actually been included in other stories like Lando, as well as the Poe Dameron comics. And they are testing her level of patience as a Jedi, and that's saying a lot because, man, oh man, are those things annoying. And, well, she does get a little bit frustrated, but it's cool to see a Jedi that's followable. It's cool to see a Jedi that is a little bit more nuanced than the stoic Jedis we see sitting at the temple, at the Jedi Council in the Phantom Menace. So that I really appreciated. You also have a big connection to Light of the Jedi. So I will say this, for those of you that wonder about reading order for the High Republic, because I know there's plenty out there, this does come out the same week that we get the Light of the Jedi novel, as well as Test of Courage. I would say go ahead and read Light of the Jedi if you have access to that first, because this takes place towards the end. The events in this comic take place towards the end of that specific book. So if you want to know how Skier gets his hand cut off, if you want to know why Jory Mowry, the Marshal of Starlight Beacon, is dead, if you want to know all those little details, go ahead and read the book first and then read the comic, but it isn't necessary to enjoy this story with having read Light of the Jedi. But it's worth noting that there are a lot of connections. We even see Yoda, Master Yoda, make an appearance in this, and he's doing something with these younglings that are going to be in the High Republic Adventure comics from IDW coming out in February. So there you go. There's a little lead into what we will see with Yoda in there. But it's cool just seeing all these Jedi characters, brand new era of Star Wars storytelling, and the artwork is just fantastic. The artwork just captures the wonder of a brand new story in Star Wars, and indeed really has a sense of kinetic battles with him involving Skier, as well as involving the character of Keith Travis. I love Keith Travis's lightsaber, by the way. It's a green double-bladed lightsaber. We haven't seen anything like that in canon before, at least to my knowledge, unless you count like Jedi Fallen Order, and I'm not even sure what the canon lightsaber color of Cal Kestis actually is. I'm assuming it's blue, but I digress because, man, oh man, the designs of these characters, the way the ships are designed with the vectors, everything about it seems new and grander, and in the grand scheme of things, the High Republic is an absolute time of expansion and renaissance for the Republic and for the Jedi. So it makes sense that they're going to have this kind of grandeur about them, and the way their outfits invoke a lot of power and a lot of prosperity with the golden age of the Republic. So those are my thoughts on the High Republic issue number 1. I am absolutely sold. This is how you open up a brand new story in Star Wars, getting a lot of action, having a character go through a lot of development in a single issue. This is where things begin, and I'm very excited to see the next issue. Going into the next thing for this week, we have Star Wars issue number 10. This is part 2 of Operation Starlight, in which we have the Empire, which are just running down the rebellion after the events of The Empire Strikes Back. The Imperials have a way of getting transmissions intercepted from the rebels and finding out where they're coming from and just destroying the different divisions of the rebel fleet. So we have a plan by Leia to get this droid that has a special translation that the Empire can't crack, and they got the droid, and now they got to figure out how to get this thing to actually communicate amongst themselves to get the rebels back to safety. So we open up, and this issue doesn't have a lot of action, and that's the first critique I will say, is it felt like this was part like a part in between two big action set pieces or something. Like it's just holding us over. This is like the table setting episode, if you will, which has a lot of information thrown around. What I will say is it focuses a lot on Lando in this issue. We have the different characters aboard the rebel ship, and they are trying to figure out why they can't talk with this droid. It turns out that none other than Lobot is the only one that can actually talk to this droid, but the problem is it's actually siphoning the life energy out of Lobot. So Lobot will eventually perish if they are to keep using the code. So it really brings up a conundrum with Lando versus Kez Dameron, and Kez Dameron wants to get his wife back because she goes out with the Starlight Squadron, who are the squadron that are going to go look for and transmit these new codes to. So of course he wants her back, and they have to have these codes in order to get her back, because they had launched their astromech droids when they were assaulted and ambushed by these different Viper droids that were going after the astromechs. So they had to actually eject the astromechs to self-destruct. So now they have no navigation, so they are stuck out there. So they have to get this stuff done ASAP. And then at the same time, Lando is talking about his history with Lobot, which is pretty depressing, because we know what happened in the Lando miniseries and about how he used to be more cognitive and more social with Lando. Now he doesn't even speak. But it turns out that this droid can also make Lobot speak, which is something very interesting. But all in all, like I said, this issue was kind of like that issue that moves the story with the information, doesn't move it incredibly far forward by any means. And what really irked me was the fact that we don't even see Luke Skywalker, and yet he is front and center on the cover. So where is Luke? I know we have one more part of this three-parter. I'm very excited to see how this ends, because I'm interested in seeing what happens next, right? I don't know what happens in this time period. We do have a moment where Jabba contacts, and it's actually Jabba's major domo. We have Bib Fortuna contacting Lando about, hey, you promised us that you would give us the intel on the rebels. Now, are you going to follow through? Because we made you live because of that little mention there. And he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna get to it. So is he gonna double cross the rebels again, like he did with the Empire on Cloud City and Empire Strikes Back? Not sure, but it adds a little bit more level of risk and unknown what is going to actually happen there. So what did you guys think of the High Republic issue number 1, as well as Star Wars issue number 10? Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. If you are new to the channel, welcome. I talk about the comics every week, or at least every time they come out. So make sure you let me know in the comment section below what you think, and do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any other Star Wars content. That is going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.